Greetings, Darklings, from across the interwebs. It is once again I, the Duchess, Precious Ken, and I am here for the Sounds and Shadows podcast today. I'm extremely excited. When I went out to Cold Waves, I ran into my friend Lisa there, and we got to meet and talk. And I got excited with her telling me about a new festival that they have been doing, and I said, well, that's perfect. Let's get you on here. And she said the other person I do it with is Chloe. And so it is with my great pleasure that I introduce you to Lisa and Chloe, the producers of the Unconvention.
Thank you so much, Ken.
Thank you. We're very excited to do this. And I really wish I could have been there. And I'm really jealous that you guys got to have like your lovely Chicago adventure. I was having the worst FOMO of my life.
We'll have to get you out next year.
You will. And really I almost missed it this year. I came real close to not being able to go. And because of some awesome people that A, talked me into it, and B, helped me out with stuff like tickets and things like that, I got to go out and it was incredible. So I'm so glad. And I think that leads into a big part of the discussion of what I want to talk to you guys about today. These conventions are goth summer camp. Like so many of us now, especially in freaking, the COVID world, where we've just gotten used to, frankly, you don't go out as much. You don't see people as much. You definitely don't go out to a huge venue willy-nilly. We're getting to the point, and I feel comfortable. You take precautions and you can go do things. But it used to be, I don't know, I never gave it a second thought, jamming myself shoulder to shoulder with 2,000 people. And now I give that 3, 4, maybe 23 thoughts before I allow myself to do it. So let me start out by saying, and let's go Lisa and then Chloe, tell me a little bit about how you got into this scene and became a part of it, and then how you turned that into, I want to do one of these conventions on my own. And in a cool place like New Jersey. New Jersey is cool, you know?
It is. It really is.
I mean, we agree with that, but we get a bad rap for no reason.
Let's start out, Lisa. Tell me a little bit about, I don't know, how you fell in love with this music and scene.
Oh, geez. Okay. Where do I even begin? So in 2003, I was a wee baby gothling, freshly of adult age, and was working in Hot Topic. And my manager was like, hey, you like the music we're playing? Let's go to this club. And that was QXT's in New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey. And I started going, and I was just like, this place is cool, and everyone else is just as weird as me, so this is perfect.
I like how you brushed over the fact that your origin story is Hot Topic, and you try not to like that deep into that and move past, but I don't want that to happen. Own that shit, like fucking Hot Topic, whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, who hasn't worked at Hot Topic in this scene? Like, it's a rite of passage almost. But yeah, I worked at that place for 3.5 years and then left for the military. So I got to branch out of New Jersey when I did that. And I started going to the San Francisco scene over to Death Guild. And it just really solidified my love for this scene and this music. Like, I made friends out there because of who my friends were here in New Jersey, because it's just so small and such a tight family.
It is odd, and that gets, especially when we go to something like Cold Waves or what have you, all of a sudden you realize that the world is just way smaller than you thought once you're a part of this thing.
So much smaller. So I don't know, I've been in it, around it, adjacent, doing things in the scene since 2003, mainly as a patron. I want to say in about 2012, after I got out of the military, I really started getting involved more in the backgrounds of things. I got thrown into working at Triton Festival because Clan of Zymox needed a merch person, and I just happened to be there.
Boom. Fortuitous.
Yeah, that was the first festival I worked. Sorry, cat shifting my camera here. And they do. So yeah, that was the first festival I worked, and then people just kept involving me in festivals. So I worked 2 Tritons, and then started booking bands as a booking agent for Dark Side of Light Productions. Just because I had like a big knack for connecting with people and just chatting with literally everyone uh, that I could, and just made some solid bonds. So I decided to, you know what? I know all these bands and I know all these club promoters. Let's make that a thing. Um, so we did, and I started to actually go out teching on some of those tours, like assisting, doing merch,
Yeah.
uh, picking things up and putting them down, basically. And I was like, "Hey, Troy, my boss, I really like this. I want to be a tour manager." And he said, "Hey, why don't you learn how to work a board?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"I've got a GI Bill. Yeah, let's go do that." So I went to audio engineering school and then got like way more involved in the technical aspect
Yeah.
of things. And then I went out on tour with a few bands, uh, and I've done some like really awesome stuff. And Troy, when Kinetic fell through, Troy actually ended up starting Aftermath,
Hmm.
and he threw me in on that. I couldn't make the first year, unfortunately, because I had a family wedding to attend. But the second year, I jumped right in and stage manage, and ever since then, people have been hiring me as stage managers. So it's just a thing that kind of happened.
Yeah, I love to hear that. And I love to hear that story because a lot of times, I'll hear people, I'll say, "Hey, what are you doing in the scene?" or "How are you a part of it?" And a lot of them will be like, "Oh no, I don't really know how to play anything," or "I'm not a D," and I'm like, there's so much more involved. And to tell you the truth, I mean, you don't hear about any of these bands without a good tour manager, to be honest. Like, I mean, people really underplay how much goes into that. And also the thing you just said a second ago, Lisa, which is artists, DJs, perform are not always the easiest humans to communicate with. I know,
No, they're
shocking,
not.
shocking. I mean, but no,
No, they are
it's
not.
true, and it isn't that they're trying to be difficult always or things like that, but a lot of times the
Scheduling
type of
and
mindset it takes to having someone who can talk to them and then take those thoughts in a more positive and express that to someone else is a invaluable resource to a lot of people in this scene from the top down, and so I love that you said that, and that's so important. All right, I'm going to pause you for 1 second, Lisa, and we're now going to let Chloe catch up. Same
yes.
type of question here. Tell me just a little bit about how you fell in love with being a part of this, because let's face it, it's not as though it is some big cash cow for
Oh God.
anybody promoting these scenes. You know what I mean? No. You are rolling the dice, hoping to God you break even,
Yes.
and get everybody back home with a couple dollars in their pocket,
Yes.
And so the
Absolutely.
only reason to do this is from deep inside your heart. So how did you find that, Chloe?
Um, so I really like I went through like middle school and started being like a weird kid and like mixing like weird things with like normal things, and then I was just very confused. And then I went to high school, and I went to a very big high school. So there was a lot of alternative people there, and like immediately, literally month 1, people came up to me and they're like, "You're cute, you need to be friends with us," and like took me and like brought me over to the hallway that we had. And like, I mean, that was like, that changed my entire life forever. Like from that point, like literally when I was a freshman in high school, we had like, can you really call it a scene at that point? I don't know, but like we had a group of people who were from a bunch of different towns, and one of them is still my tattoo artist, and like one of them is our friend Renee, and like uh all these bands played these shows, and we all went to the same mall and stuff. And like that really kind of had thrown me, like within the first couple months of high school, like threw me into this entire world of like So there's all these aspects of this. We can do band stuff, or we can do hanging out stuff, we can do just being weird together stuff. And I was like, that's the coolest thing ever. And very
So wait,
quickly
were
around
you
that
just
same,
going to the mall and hanging out at Hot Topic too? I mean,
yes,
you can admit it,
unfortunately
Claire.
not Lisa's Hot Topic though, but we did hang out at Hot Topic and Spencer's and just numbers. Like,
Oh
I'm gonna
yeah,
meet you
numbers,
at
yeah.
1 or 14. Weird. Um, but around that time also was when I started alternative modeling, which is actually how I met Lisa from that. But that ended up being a big thing that kind of connected me to a lot of people, because alternative people sort of tend to be pretty multifaceted. Like, especially like people who are in the event industry, like usually we've got lots and lots of hats. So it's that definitely, between the connections I made like just at the beginning of high school and those people, and then also the people I met through modeling. Like literally I turned 18 and that's the day I went to QXTs for the first time. Like, and I was like waiting. So for me it was just that opportunity of this like secret club that I'd found was like just the most delicious thing in the whole world, and it still is.
I love hearing your excitement. See, luckily I didn't have to wait as long, because back in the early 90s, a Michigan driver's license was the exact same color as Clairol cover up number 5. And then you would just like change a 7 into a 1 or an 8 into a 4, and then put
That's
clear nail
amazing.
polish over it and a blow dryer. I mean, that's not true anymore. These kids today can't get away with that, but that's how I started.
No, can't get away with anything anymore.
Yeah, go into industry, dance club and stuff like that when I was like 16, 17. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So how did you put that together? You both were a part of the scene and a part of the alternative scene. And you at some point decided you wanted to make that a convention that happened in New Jersey. Tell me about how that came together.
I think it was a much slower build than that. Like I got into working with several different friends of mine, even friends from New York, friends from New Jersey, friends even from Philadelphia, and help them with their different types of events, and just got more and more involved in it, and eventually started working very closely with a company that was another promotion company, and just I learned a lot about conventions, and I learned a lot about festivals, and I just kept learning more and more and more until I got to the point that I was like, I know all these things, but there's also some things that I don't like, and there's some things that, as a mother, I have a 6-year-old daughter, and like now, like as I am now, like there's so many things that concern me that are nerve-wracking about the possibilities, or even the things that I saw when I was 18, 19, 20, and now I'm 33, and I'm like, oh my God, there's some things that we really need to work on here. And that was so the driving force behind the Unconvention, was just trying to make something that was as beautiful as what I was just talking about, and like that love of the scene, and just try and keep the other stuff out of it. Let's make it safe. Let's make it, with a bunch of people who have your best interests in mind. Let's not make it about capitalism. Let's make it about the important stuff. And yeah, me and Lisa are, like shouldering a lot of the burden of that, but we're doing it with love. And I don't think either one of us regret it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I think that's so awesome. And it is true. Like, I mean, something can be good and enjoyable, a festival that you went when you were younger or something, but it's easy too to look through fresh eyes of being a little older, a little wiser, and realize there is a lot that's negative about this too, and a lot about the environment here that could be better. Some of the greatest ideas and inventions come out of that. And I love hearing that this came together for you, where you said to yourself, we can do better. So with that in mind, Lisa, what is the goal, or what you set out trying to set up to make better about Unconvention, that made it a more welcoming environment, that made it a more a safe environment for people to come to? Because I know one of the ones that we talked about in the Sounds and Shadows group was right off the bat. We won't mention the name, but there was another festival out there that had something like 26 artists on it with one woman, which to me is just, it's 2022. Are you effing kidding me?
I mean, women make up 51% of the population, so it's kind of ludicrous that it's 26 dudes and one woman. It's very unfortunate, and it's a larger symptom of the larger industry. But you know, that's me looking at it through my audio engineer eyes. However, so really, I wasn't really much of a congoer before because I heard about all of the debauchery and craziness, and like I really, I mean, I worked at Comic-Con once, but like, yeah, when I was there, it's just like people just were just, what's consent? I don't know. We're just gonna pick you up and take this picture.
You look pretty. I'm gonna touch you.
I think you were there for that one, Chloe.
I think I was there for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just, people were just like, we walk out and you know, the person running the booth was just like, hey, I need you both to like go walk out and attract people to our booth, and we would, and people are just like grabbing you and picking you up with, and not even asking, just like, hi, where's the ground?
I did it once and I never did it again.
Yeah, and that largely turned me off to wanting to work with cons. And then Chloe, you know, came to me one day and was like, I'm starting a convention. And I said, let me know what you need. And that's kind of how I fit into this. Is, you know, Chloe's been a friend of mine for many years.
Okay, so another thing that I really wanted to ask you about on it, you know, you talked a bit about the why. Now let's talk about the where. New Jersey is not a place that you are. I mean, when you think of like scene places, Chicago, LA, New York, New Jersey isn't necessarily one that springs to the forefront of my mind that I think of, but also I do think of it as like a punk rock, blue collar place, right? I mean,
the Misfits are from here.
It's
very punk.
Yeah, it fits the mindset of, when I really stop to think about it, why New Jersey for you? I mean, I understand you guys are from there, but also, why did you think it would work here? Why do you think this is a place that would embrace a festival like this?
I think the location that's between the two cities is the other part of this, is that Philadelphia has a really big like goth industrial scene also. So I think trying to keep it in the middle of the two was somewhat of the thinking.
Philly is a cool town too. Rodney Lynn.
And like people from Philly are not going to go all the way to a festival in New York, most likely, maybe depending on what it is, but to go from Philly like proper into New York proper, like that's an undertaking that not everyone wants to take.
Also, another part is, I mean, let me be real about this. New York City's pricey.
Oh yeah.
And there's just, we have a little bit more freedom to encapsulate a lot more here in New Jersey. And we're close to a major airport. There's a train line that runs New Jersey Transit, like a big rail line right down the block from the hotel we're doing this at. And location wise, it's just, in our minds, it makes more sense, and responsibly, it makes more sense too.
No, I think that's a huge factor. And that's kind of when I was talking about going out for cold waves in Chicago. It's a lot like that too, where look, it isn't the price of the tickets or anything that gets tough, or even the travel for me. It's a 2-hour drive from Kalamazoo. It's you're going to spend $300 to $400 a night. You know what I mean? Like that is the expectation going in. And that adds up for a lot of people, where you say to yourself, I want to come out to support bands. I want to buy records, t-shirts. I want to get merch. Like all of that is coming out of the budget then when you're going to a place like New York or LA.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how much, like, per night, if we were to do the exact same thing in New York, it would easily triple it easily.
Yeah.
Like it would literally price it out of the scene. It would be couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Maybe like in upstate New York, but not. I don't think anyone would go there though.
Maybe Albany.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
tell me a little bit about some other Jersey flavor things that people can do when if they're going to come in for the Unconvention, and like you're saying, like you want to go to a place where you're getting a chance when I go to Chicago to do some other Chicago things there. What are some other things about Jersey that people might not know about that they could be excited about either eating or like a famous
Eating.
club or a rock club to take in or anything like that?
Well, I mean, we're gonna be what, a half-hour drive, short train ride to QXT's. I mean, that place has been around since the 90s.
Yeah. Do they have like a lock of John Bon Jovi's hair that I can smell there or something? Is that
no,
Oh, okay, just checking.
But I mean, that is the goth club of New Jersey.
wow.
I mean, there's none that have made it this far. A lot of touring acts come through there, like Project Pitchfork, Aesthetic Perfection. Yeah, a whole bunch of bands have gone through there.
Yeah.
I'm blanking out. Aria's gone through there. Geez, more recently, what,
I feel like
Hosipo?
everyone's gone through there.
Just about. And you know, it is the legendary QXT.
Nice.
So
I always love that, like venues like that or things like that that truly have history. Like in Detroit, we have the City Club,
yeah,
or Metro or whatever. But there is something about that when you can kind of, I don't know, feel the ghosts in the walls. There's something to be said for it.
QXT's has outlived all of the New York City
Very cool
clubs specifically.
Yeah.
Like we had Batcave, which turned into what was previously Albion, then turned into this other club. It's gone now. It's retail space. The Limelight,
that club was awesome too.
Yeah, I know. The Limelight's also gone. It is also retail space. Like
the bank is empty.
The bank's been
it's just sitting there.
Yeah. Geez. Pyramid closed and reopened, but it's not what it used to be, but it's still thankfully there somehow. Yeah, it's just there's nothing has had this type of longevity or even made it past COVID.
Yeah. And we are having our Thursday pre-party there. I have a monthly burlesque show at QXT's called Thrills and Chills, and it's like a sideshow burlesque, kind of like dark burlesque show with lots of pain and blood and things like that. So we're having one of those on Thursday before the con. So we thought we would just kick it off with a
food-wise. I'm going to say something a little controversial.
I'm ready for this. You know me. I'm a big foodie, and so like if I go to Chicago for it, I had to bring a Lou Malnati's pizza, 2 of them, on the train on my lap for Rachel. And when I got off at the train station, I think some of the homeless there were going to attack. And I was like, you can have money, but this pizza is for her. If I don't come home with it, I rode with it on a train, I'm going to be in big trouble. So
yeah, that pizza was sacred. Speaking of pizza, our pizza is better than New York.
I've heard that.
Oh my God.
I have heard many people say the best New York pizza is in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. And our bagels are just on par. Like we have exactly the same level of bagels as New York.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you're coming to the Uncon, you're getting the best bagels and the best pizza within a walking distance. Absolutely. No question.
Where is the pie? Where is your favorite place to get a pie in Jersey?
I don't even think I have one. Like there's literally any place I've ever lived, you could find one.
I mean, I definitely have a place, but that's because I've lived in Hudson County for a very long time. And Pizza Masters in Bayonne, New Jersey.
It's so funny because the Pizza Master by my house sucks.
I know, it's so unfortunate. Pizza Masters in Bayonne, New Jersey specifically. Like I've even worked in a pizzeria in Hudson County, so like this is my level of snobbiness when it comes to like a solid, decent pie. We've also, surprisingly, we've got really good Mexican food out here.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. You wouldn't think so. I mean, like when I lived in California, I was like, man, I'm never going to find this like great pizza again, or not pizza, got pizza on the brain, clearly. I'm never going to find these great tacos again, like leaving California. No, I found them. I found them here in Jersey City, a place called La Brujeria, which means the witchery.
Ooh,
Nice.
okay. Nice.
Yeah, buildings.
Isn't there a specific sandwich too that's like a Jersey
Are you talking about
thing?
Taylor ham?
Yes, that's what it's the
or
ham.
also controversial.
Very controversial.
This is the two sides of the argument.
We have
Taylor
we
ham
have
or
a
pork roll.
rivalry in New Jersey about this mystery meat. I don't think they eat this anywhere else.
I've only ever seen it like Brad from the Food Network talking about it.
It's in New York too. It's in Manhattan.
Okay.
They appease all the Jersey commuters out there by supplying us this. But pork roll, egg and cheese on a Kaiser roll. That is the breakfast sandwich of New Jersey.
Okay. So we've hit on food and we've hit on why you guys did this. I want to start getting into the music, but we started to talk about this a little bit and kind of the importance of we're looking around, you're seeing these festivals and conventions out there with just without representation of what our scene is. Mm-hmm. The type of people in it, because to me, goth industrial has always been on the forefront of kind of pushing the boundaries of gender or what's acceptable or whatever.
That's the thing that people forget.
Yeah, to a point, a lot of people forget that it wasn't even necessarily the music that drew everybody into this. It was having a safe space.
We're literally having a panel about this because of how strongly we feel about this.
Yes, we are.
So
industrial is fucking punk, leftist, protest music.
Yes.
And it's inclusive.
Exactly.
Inclusive. So inclusive. We love the gays. We love the people of all types of races and skin colors.
Chloe, we are the gays.
Everyone. We are the gays. We are the gays. She's right. We are the gays. we are the very gays.
I love the passion here and I love what I'm hearing, but so why is that so essential, not just to two ladies like you deciding to put on a festival where you're opening the doors wide and saying, everybody come in. Okay. Because I mean, Sounds and Shadows, like that is something that I've always stood for a lot. And I think ageism is a part of it too. I really hate the, like, I'm 45, but even older than me, like crusty dudes being like, well, if you didn't see Sisters of Mercy back in 1978, you're a fucking poser.
Oh, the gatekeeping. Please, gatekeepers, stay home.
Yeah.
Stay home, gatekeepers.
Yeah, we don't play gatekeeping at Uncon.
Yeah. Why is it so important not just to invite bands to play in being inclusive, but also how do you set the tone for other people to see your convention, to go to it, to be a part of it, and to go home to other places in the country that maybe have conventions and say, hey, I'm sick of this bullshit, like with 28 dudes playing here and 1 woman. Why can't your convention be more like theirs? Because frankly, from now on, I'm going to travel rather than go to this one closer to home because you can't manage to get 10 women on the bill. So how do you make that environment for your convention?
I literally think that we ooze that environment. I think that we are so that environment that you cannot possibly miss it. Like, we have a whole team of people and every single one of them is of the exact same mindset. We believe so deeply in this like community team effort that like you can't not see it. I feel like you can't not see it in the ways that we like make, because it's there's a lot of things that are very similar to our convention and other conventions and other festivals, but then there's things that like we have never seen any convention or festival ever do before. So like we just take this stuff so seriously, and it really is like the antithesis of this whole thing.
We accidentally almost have a whole day minus 1 band that has women fronted bands.
Oh yeah.
Like that's just how it worked out. And yeah, like diversity is really important for all of us, but also, is it good music? Do people like it? Yeah, then that's what we want.
Right. We're giving you the same quality musical product, just diverse.
Yeah. Another thing you guys brought up too was the importance of making this a safe place too. So like you said, you're oozing it. The bands we're putting up are sending you the message, we want everybody safe here and to come in. The attitude that you have about it is saying that, what are some of the things too that you can say to women, people on the gender spectrum, when you come here, how is it that if there is a problem, because there are always going to be bad eggs, it is how a festival runs has nothing to do with bad eggs, because there's always going to be those. What's really going to make a difference is when that is identified, what is done about that and how. What are some of the things you're doing in that way?
We have a whole safety team. Like, this was Chloe's number one priority over bands when she first made this. She's like, no, I'm going to have a safety team that people can run to.
It's called the Safe Force, not to be confused with the Space Force.
Yes. And she said, we're gonna find code words so people can safely run up to our safety team and not give themselves away. And we got a whole team dedicated, rocking around the festival. We're going to be easily identifiable for people to come to for safety. And
basically everyone on our entire team, like that's something that we can definitely say, is that anyone on, like, lots of other festivals, they might be like, oh, that person doesn't matter because they're in this position, or this doesn't matter because they're there, or that guy did that a long time ago, so it's okay. We can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that any person that has any kind of staff badge on them is somebody that you can bring anything that's happened to you to, and they're going to treat you properly, because they wouldn't be on our team if we didn't trust that. Like, there's no space for it. There's no space for conservative news to show up and try to make a mockery of us. There's no space for anybody to be harmed in any kind of way. That all of us aren't going to come to their rescue in any way we possibly can. Like, we just, it's everything to us. That's
wonderful to hear. And that's the thing, like I said, it isn't just about festivals or that. I mean, this needs to be just the attitude of the scene to quickly identify when someone is misbehaving and out of pocket, and have everyone turn and look at them and be like, we have no use for that here. Bye.
Exactly. And that's what it makes me sad, that we that industrial specifically started in such a beautiful, progressive place, and that it has gotten in certain ways muddied, because that's that's the whole point. We want that it should have always stayed that way, and it upsets me that it didn't, and we hope to get back to that. And if we, like I said, I have a monthly event. Our other person who works very closely with us is Will Distort. He also does a lot of events and promo things, and he's also very much of the same mindset as us. And we're doing our job beyond Uncon to do that. We are our people have their hands in lots of things, and all of our people are the type of people trying to make a difference. So it makes me very happy and very proud of all of them all the time. And I tell them once a week, I'm like, just so you guys know, I love you all so much. I don't know if I've told you in the last 5 minutes, but you're all amazing and I love all of you.
So this is something from Uncon that I want to see catch on everywhere, and something I think we can all infuse in the scene. And I love that we've kind of talked about that and built up the history. But I think it's important at this point, we jump in and let's start talking about what people can see here and who some of these bands are, because this is an extremely exciting lineup. And like I said, it features just a wide diversity of every kind of music and every kind of person playing it. So why don't you start out? You told me a little bit about what Thursday is going to be with the burlesque, as well as the thrills and chills, dark waves, and dangerous babes. Ooh, that sounds fun. And that's at the QXTs, correct?
Yep.
So then Friday, I'll let you start out here with kind of the opening of it, go through, but you have headlining that night 3 of my all-time faves. Like, I am so jealous of this show, But starting out, you have the Mary Lou's. Who is that? Tell me a little about them.
They are a quirky duo from Pennsylvania. They're kind of like living clowns.
They're living art. They're
yeah.
Oh my god. Aesthetically, they are the most unconventional but like beautiful beings.
They are quirky and cute and spooky, and they're fun. They're so much fun. It's kind of like goth music with ukuleles. Like,
I'll make sure too when we release this out that we have links out to everybody so they can see it. But I want to get through. There's so much to talk about here. So Esoteric. Tell me about them.
I know them from touring. We've toured together.
I know them from YouTube.
Yes, Brady Bledsoe and Allison Eckfeld, they are wonderful humans, and they put a little bit of tribal into some Susie, and it sounds so good. And they're also really fun and incredibly nice people.
Nice. I don't think I know that. I'm gonna have to look that one up. Okay, the next one up is a dear friend of mine and just a dear human being and an utter dreamboat. Adoration Destroyed.
Oh,
and
we love Eric. We love
you
Eric.
can't not love Eric. Is just one of the sweetest, prettiest human beings in the scene, and it just makes every concert and festival he plays better.
At the conclusion of last year, Eric sent me an email and was just like, how do I get on? I was just like, yeah, hi, I got you. And I was visiting my partner in Texas, and he came over and we talked about it in full, and he was just like, nope, I want to do this. I was like, all right, consider it done. And yeah, so Eric's a no-brainer. I mean, we love them.
And speaking of no-brainers that also just fill my heart with joy every time, next up you have Stephen and Donna, Ego Likeness. I mean,
love our Stephen and Donna.
A classic that just always makes every show great. I mean, and Donna doesn't play out as much as she used to, you know, so when she does come out and do an event, it is a special treat.
We feel honored that Donna trusts us. We really do.
Yeah, we had Steve and Donna headline last year on Friday because we had to drop a band for reasons. And instead of getting a last minute fill in, we just let Steve and Donna take it, and they killed it. As far as I'm concerned, Steve and Donna are part of the Unconvention family.
Oh yeah. We plan to have them forever.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly it.
Actually, I want to give Stephen. I'm not gonna get too much into this, but Stephen may or may not be the reigning champion of most amount of Unconvention shows ever played.
that is possible. I think he also holds the record for most interviews on Sounds and Shadows.
That sounds pretty Steven.
Yeah. So the next one up though, this is so it was funny when I was at Cold Waves. At one point, I'm trying to think of who it was. I think it was somebody that I really, really wanted to meet and talk to. I think it was the guys who run I Die, You Die. And he walked up right as Shannon was coming on the stage and was like, hey, Ken, like I've wanted to meet you. It's nice to meet you. You know, we kind of both do that. And I was like, I really want to meet you too. But I'm at church right now, and I will come find you later because Light Asylum is my church, and I'm going to need the entire rest of the world to go fuck off while I dance now.
Yep. We are so excited to have Shannon headline our Friday night.
We really are.
I mean, I've worked with Shannon previously, Cold Waves 2019, I think, and I just remembered how much of a powerhouse she was. And I said, Chloe, we need to get this woman on our stage. And she said, handle it. So I did.
Yeah, I feel like Shannon is like being able to put a powerful Black woman as the headliner of our Friday is like something that we're very happy we get to do. And that's important.
She's just so talented and so amazing. It just
I remember when I saw her there in 2019, I looked over to Colin and I was like, you know what? If I can't sing like that, I don't want to sing anymore. I quit the band. I'm out. And I spent about a full hour in existential crisis, where I was just like, if I can't be Shannon, I don't want to sing at all.
I mean, the way, oh God, uh, just seeing her perform again at Cold Waves where we were at together, it just hyped me up even more. To like, we had just confirmed her that day, by the way.
That's awesome.
We had just confirmed her that day that she was playing. She's like, no, let's do this. I'm sorry it took so long for me to get back to you, because she had some other things that were like in the works. She had to make sure it didn't, you know, that she actually could commit to it fully. So we're so grateful that she said yes.
All right, next up, we're moving on to Saturday, the 19th, and you have Ryan Lynch. I'm not familiar with them. Tell me about it.
So Ryan Lynch is my partner and co-owner of the Unconvention.
Oh, cool.
He is a guitarist, and he's in several different bands, and he's been finally like dedicating some time to his own stuff. So he's been playing at QXTs a lot, and we're excited to give him a chance to finally perform some of his own stuff that's just his, and that we're really proud of him for.
Beautiful. Next up, our dear friends from Madison, Eric and crew of Null Device.
Yes. So, you know, we know they're coming out with an album real soon.
Mm-hmm.
And we heard the single on that, which is really good. It's really exciting. And the fact that it works out that Eric can put out an album before, you know, oh my God, we have half of the Legion of Eric's playing.
I think Eric puts out more albums before breakfast than most people do all day.
Oh yeah, yeah, we'll talk about that later, but yes. But yeah, so, you know, just Null Device is so fun, and they're a little bit quirky and just really just beautifully talented people. And I work with Eric a lot. I end up mixing a lot of albums that he masters. So, so yeah, I'm just excited to have my friend who's so skilled on my stage.
Yeah. No, Eric is truly a delight. The whole band there, very cool. The Destruct Principle is another one I am not familiar with.
So they're a derivative of, well, I mean, maybe derivative isn't the right word, but they have two of the members of the Mary Lou's are also in the Destruct Principle, but their performances are called rituals, and they are called that for a very, very important and obvious reason when you see them perform. Like, their performance is a ritual, and it's creepy, and it's tribally, and it's just this like beautiful thing. I don't even know how to put enough other words to it, because it's just, they're such artists, like we were saying before, but it's such a different side of them. But
they're definitely an experience. They were the biggest surprise of our convention last year. Like, honestly, I hadn't even heard of them before last year, until they were set up and ready to go, and they blew me away.
Wow. Well, that sounds awesome. Okay, next here, you got two on the same line, but both are amazing. So I have to tell you, number one, you have Noir. And I have never seen Ethan perform, and I love his voice so much. And that just sounds exciting as hell.
So Ethan approached me about wanting to do Noir. Ethan and I have run around, like, been in the same circles for a while and run into each other occasionally. And as soon as Ethan said he wanted in, I just said yes. I mean, you can't say no to Ethan.
There are just certain people like him, I would say William Faith, that just drip frontman energy.
Absolutely.
In the scene. And Ethan is just one of those where it's just coming off him in waves.
Absolutely. And he's such an amazing person too. He's really kind. And
I think it was also really important to include him this year because of the very unfortunate death that we had this year in the scene. And I know that was very near and dear to him. So I thought that made it even more important.
We will be having a memorial to Dave Heckman at Unconvention this year too. So
nice. That's very cool.
And Ethan is helping us guide that a little bit. Yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to brighten things back up again now.
Yes.
Let's talk about another amazing, not just woman performer, but producer. Yes. One of the things that I love about Gabby and have been so impressed with is how much she has grown in the production of her music for herself.
Absolutely.
her live performances are something else, and just so cool to watch as she just keeps getting sharper and sharper in her control of how the music and the album goes into a live performance.
Yeah, I mean, Gabby and Eric both approached me together about wanting to play, and absolutely, she just came out with a new album too, which is fantastic. And it's just we want to raise people like her, people who like this is their heart and soul. So yeah, we're also like really thrilled. I haven't seen her live yet. This will be my first time, and it'll be working with her. So
beautiful, beautiful. Next up, speaking of Eric too, is a couple of big name ones here. The first of which is Grendel.
Yes.
Wow, that's a get. I mean, that's a name and a show to be able to bring to your event.
I think that's the one I'm most excited for personally, which will be if I get to see any of them at all.
I have a very long-standing friendship and also working relationship with JD from Grendel.
Mm-hmm.
I work for the same booking agency that books him. So, it might have been a little not difficult for me to get that.
Have I told you how grateful I am for Lisa yet?
Yeah, well, he had to say yes, obviously. So it's just like, hey, I got this gig and I'm the one, running it. So how about, yeah. And we're excited to, I feel terrible because he had to cancel other festival performances this year due to visas. So we're glad to finally get him over to actually perform for folks. And this is going to be very special because it's the only US show this entire year.
So now to close out your amazing Saturday lineup,
our birthday boy,
you have Klaus Leatherstrip. Tell me about how that.
It's his birthday the week of the convention.
Oh, that's so
right.
cool.
So it's even more special. I also have a long relationship with Klaus. I have worked with him. I don't book him anymore, but I used to. And he's Klaus. He's the industrial leather, granddaddy of industrial.
I was gonna say, I've never met him, but he seems like the most precious, like, granddaddy of like that. He's just like, I barely know him just because I've only typed with him, but like he's just so precious.
He gives the most amazing hugs too. If you can ever get a Klaus hug, get it. Excellent bear hugs.
And I was talking I did an interview with Jim Marcus, which will have coming out pretty soon. But I think of Klaus as another one of those. For me, growing up, punk rock wasn't my thing. It was industrial. Industrial was my anger music. It was my like lashing out, rebelling, whatever. But also at the same time, there were a lot of things about industrial that didn't feel very me, because it was for a long time a very machismo, like, yeah, we're coming out here with some lady, and there was that vibe to industrial music. And there were a few kind of back in the early 90s people that were breaking that down and saying that industrial could be something else.
Mm-hmm. And Klaus talked very, very much about coming out and being gay. So yeah, it's a very special thing to have him on our lineup, and we can't be more thrilled.
Yeah. Okay, final day. We roll into Sunday, the 20th, and you're starting out right off the bat with my dear friend Jimenez.
Our Jimmers. We love our Jimmers. So we have a special relationship with Distortion Records. Mm-hmm. We've got a couple Distortion bands on here. We've got Null Device, Hiva X, and Red Locust. So who doesn't love Jimmers? I mean, he does so much for our community as a scene, especially with, anyone who has cancer, he's helping.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know that I've ever met a dude in this scene that puts his money where his mouth is more.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Just he lives exactly who he is, on the surface.
He's so authentic. And it's his authenticity and just how much of a beautiful human he is that we're just thrilled to have him on our lineup too.
Next up, this is an exciting one, Compactor.
Yes, my good friend Derek. Derek talked to me last year about wanting to be at Unconvention, and we
Wait,
couldn't.
you know what I got here?
Ah, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So he talked to me last year about wanting to be on the lineup, and we couldn't make it work then, but we've got it this year. And, just Sunday's always my noisiest day. That's just how this works at this point. And
I like that.
and yeah, we're excited to have him in this lineup with everyone else that he's already played with before.
You're not wrong. Looking at this now, Sunday has a lot of teeth on it. Like everyone's going to be hung over and stuff, but apparently we're ready to rock still.
Yeah, absolutely. I do that on purpose because,
a shot of an adrenaline at the end before everybody drives home.
You gotta go out in a bang, just
I like
literally a bang.
Okay, now I am not familiar with ENDIF.
Endiff. Okay, so that's Jason Hollis.
Oh, okay.
Who I think you did meet at Cold Waves. His other project is Retcon.
I did, and I do know Jason. I just didn't know that was his band.
That is him. That was his, older band, and that's also his noise band.
Oh,
and it's good stuff. I finally got to meet Jason when he shared an Airbnb with my group in Chicago this past Cold Waves, and I'm excited to have him back. Like, he's so
and Jason's
great.
He's going to be doing that panel I mentioned before with our friend Das Christoph, and it's going to be a panel on the leftist and progressive and protest roots, because I know he was involved a lot. Lisa, correct me on the city name of where he's from.
Yeah,
Minneapolis. When all that stuff was going down, he was, I know, heavily involved in that.
Very cool. And now we have Cenotype.
Cenotype, yes, New Jersey's own power noise.
Oh, okay.
He's really tall. You can't miss him.
So last year, Steve actually played in Cenotype, which made it even more fun. But this year's a special year. Those pictures
are so adorable.
Yeah, I know. This year's a special year for Cenotype because I believe it's the 10-year anniversary.
Oh, cool.
Which is why we're having Lenny back, because we're not going to snub him on his anniversary. And yeah, he's awesome. Check out his stuff. It's really rhythmic power noise. Like, you can really get down to it.
I am a big fan of that. And I think that's important too. We talked a little bit about the importance of being inclusive in who we're having on the lineups for some of these festivals. But also, I think it's important. We need to have a couple of people local flavor, right? I mean, who is it? It was George of Black Rose Burning. But the importance of, if you're going to hold a festival in New York, there should be a couple New York bands on it.
Absolutely. We've got Noir too. Noir's local.
Yeah, definitely. So I like that, and I like to see that. That's important. Next up, of course, is Mr. Archer, who we have talked about a couple times here, but Stoneburner is a intense and explosive way to...
Oh, he had so much cool stuff last year.
Oh, the wolf,
so many masks on top of masks and things.
He's got even more masks.
And
he's been working on different masks for...
It changes every time. I don't think that Steven has an off button. He wouldn't know how to quit.
I understand that.
He doesn't. And Steven never fails.
Steven and I have that in common.
Steven never fails to amaze. Like, every performance is different. And he's just so amazing to watch and experience. He's an experience.
He is.
Next up here is Ivadensphere.
Yes, we're bringing Scott Fox in. So what's funny about this one, we're not doing the full band lineup, it's the Singularity.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if you've ever caught a Singularity, but what Scott Fox likes to do is he takes a whole table, sets up on the floor in the audience, and freestyles a whole set.
Very cool.
So it's really immersive and it's really visceral, and I'm so excited to bring this to Unconvention because it is unconventional. Like,
I really hope I get to catch that. I really want to see that.
You need to. It's really worth it.
I know you've got some great DJs on there. I remember seeing like Walter Flackis and Photo Killer, and
I wish my roommate could be here because my roommate's the guy who does all the DJs for our convention. He handles that by himself.
My good buddy Scott Durand and DJ Wicked Goth. I mean, all very cool. Tell me a little bit. So we've gone through the lineup here. We've gone through some of the DJs here. The last thing I wanted you to get a chance to touch on, because a lot of times people do, if you want to go to a concert, go to a concert. But what's different is, and why you call this a convention is because you have these panels, these discussions, the different way to stimulate your mind than just the music. You've gone through the one that you mentioned. Are there any other panels or anything that you guys are going to have that people can enjoy when they're there at the convention?
So we will have a bunch of them. I think by the end we'll probably have like 25, 30. So
Oh wow.
The panels are a thing that like I've kind of gone back and forth on a little bit, because I think sometimes when events have panels, sometimes they have too many, sometimes they become just like fill in the spots.
Yeah, you got to find the line.
I've been sort of taking a quality over quantity approach, so I'm not like setting myself to it has to be this number. I'm really just trying to like refocus. Like I would like this convention to be a convention that like the bands still want to be at when they're not performing at it. I want it to be a thing, you know, for the connection of all of the people. And the fun of the hotel is that you're kind of like encapsulated in this little world for a little while, which is kind of what made me feel like fall in love with conventions, because I have like lots of anxiety and lots of chronic pain. It's so cool to just be like, I'm gonna go lay down for 20 minutes and just go upstairs and I can be alone and I can like recharge and put a fun outfit on for the night, and then like you said, like I can go down and I can go sit in a panel for a little while and listen on a topic like about Jason can tell us about all of his experiences while he was protesting in Milwaukee. Like these are did I get
Minneapolis.
Right? Minneapolis. You know what it honestly is? I just watched way too much Jeffrey Dahmer, and I can't Milwaukee and Minneapolis.
But no, I take your point, and I really like that, and I think that is important, because that is another aspect of it. You know, like Lisa, when we were again over at Cold Waves, but yes, it was seeing the bands, but also it was walking into the hallway and running into Eric from Unica and saying hi. Or I mean, I'll say for someone like me that does music reviews and interviews and things like that, a lot of times this is our, I don't know, I hate to almost like a convention, but like a chance for all of us to get together and hang out and share stories or what we're doing too, you know. So
and that's like exactly what we want. We want that sharing. Like this hotel has like tons of like lobby spaces and like a little fireplace and like all different sections to like the lounge spaces, which are all over the place. So it's so like,
much seating.
It just wants people to sit together and talk, which in this day and age we don't do a whole lot of face-to-face talking and stuff. So it's like you just get to live in your own little world. It's like a little like vision of what it would look like if this was regular culture instead of a subculture.
No, you're dead on right. And I think that is so important to have, because it really, I mean, you come there for the music and you're coming there to see that, but also you want a place where you're not hearing 10 million decibel music to sit down and say, hey, cool, it's good to meet you in person, and hello, and how are you? And, you know, you want a chance to do that too, and have a chance to have these musicians that you love and these bands and these also be approachable and be able to say hi and take a picture and, you know, do that stuff. That is part of the experience, and the fun is to be a part of something, not just hear something, to be a part of it.
Like I said, like even from the time I was like a teenager going into high school, like that family that I found is just a thing that like I feel like we all hit the jackpot, and like the normal people don't know about it, and like we have a secret club where we get to be weird together and like nobody knows about it. So it's like so special, and like I said before, it's like we're in a movie half the time. Like you look around you and there are these creatures that are like amazing and talented, and they look all these crazy ways, and it's like we all just love each other so much because we're all so weird. And it's like that being ostracized from society and, you know, and all that stuff, like when we come together, we're like, oh, we're all the weirdos, but we're together. So it's like we don't have that anymore. That whole thing is gone for a little while. And I think it's like I've never had a convention experience that I didn't walk away from with like changed opinions, different outlooks, new friends. Like you don't walk away from a 3 to 4 day convention without that. And that's so important.
It is a place for, I don't know, to test your emotions, to grow, I mean, and so no, I love that. And I like to think that kind of with, say, like the Sounds and Shadows Facebook group, it has become kind of an online convention like that, where it's both artists, fans, DJ, just like you said, people on the inside that want to come together and be cool and not be shitty to each other.
Yes, exactly.
It isn't that hard. And I think people underestimate just how much everybody wants that. The idea of like not having some edgelord come talking smack about how much cooler he was back in the day. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants that. And
it's free to not do that.
Yeah. The days of like trying to like look cooler than thou and like it just is gone. Like goofy goth is the future. I'm telling you.
We're definitely of the like everyone can sit at our table type of opinion. Like
unless you're a fascist.
Unless you're a fascist. We don't like those. Or a white supremacist, or like an anti-Semitic, or like, all of those kinds of people.
Yeah. No, it's pretty simple to tell where the line is,
As long as you like have basic respect for humans.
Right. That's not a lot to ask. Not a big
ask.
But
if like you think that there's any like subset of the population that like needs to be like eradicated, then I don't think we can be friends.
All right. Now, Lisa and Chloe, this has been a true delight speaking with you. I am really excited for you. The convention looks amazing. I need to make it out there. I need to get to New Jersey. I need a pork roll. Like I need
pork
to.
Roll, except where we're having convention, it's Taylor ham. So you better not say pork roll or you'll get fired.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? You guys will, when I get out there, you guys will take me through and make sure I don't get myself in trouble. And
we'll take care of you, Ken.
This has been a true delight.
Thank you so much for having us.
I see here on the website, if you're still thinking it's possible to get out there and be a part of this experience, you will not regret.
We still have a couple hotel rooms left. Not a lot, but a couple.
www.theunconventionnj.com. I will post that in the link. Get out there, check this out, be a part of this. And aside from that, going beyond in 2023, 2024, whatever.
Do better.
Start asking your promoters to put the people you want to see on their convention. Say, this is who I want to go see. I don't want to see the same 20 bands over and over again. I want new blood, and ask that of your promoters. Thank you so much, Lisa and Chloe, for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
From us at Sounds and Shadows, everybody out there, keep it dark, yo.